Of the Inquirer Roundtable, and I'm Chito De La Vega of the Inquirer Central Desk. This afternoon, we're very lucky to have as our guest the fighting Senator Leila De Lima. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for having me once again here at Inquirer.
Here in the roundtable, I'll just introduce who are with us here. We have J.B. Rufino of the Inquirer Central Desk, Christine Sabilla of Inquirer.net, Joey Nalasco, our Executive Director of Philippine Daily Inquirer, Mike Rubat, the Chief of the Day Desk, and Carl. Good afternoon. Okay, for the first question, can I Ma'am, how did you find yung activity last Sunday on the Marcos? You were there and you were talking. Anong tingin niyo sa...
That was a very good and meaningful start of actions, of options, because we do have several options in order to try to block the announced plan of the administration for the burial of Mr. Marcos. Of course, the weather was not cooperative. It was raining very hard. It was actually stormy. But it was still a good crowd, although it could have been bigger, were it not siguro for that, yung panahon. It's a good start. I just hope that this will be a sustained action, sustained efforts, and that other options would be considered legal, political, legislative perhaps, etc.
There were also mass actions, although not as big as in the other cities. Meron sa Cebu,
yes,
and Zamboanga, and somewhere in Mindanao. Cagayan de Oro, I mean.
Yes, because it was multi-sectoral. Of course, there are many there who are actually, they have their own experiences in those dark ages. I was one of those. Were there, but with no real personal experience. I was not really into that before. I was in my high school days and up to college. And in fact, I was a member of the Kabataan Barangay before. The early years, which had good promises with respect to so-called new society, but in later years, something very wrong happened. Right. So I was there not only as a senator, but also as an ordinary citizen who must share her voice.
So, just to follow-up question, aside from mass action, there will also be legislative and...
Well, that is an available option, but as to whether it would be timely enough to be able to really stop the plan, because as they announced it, it's going to happen this coming month, September. I would not think it would be timely. It would really be there because of the legislative mill. It can really be so tedious, and I'm not sure also whether there are members of the House. Of course, there are several members of the House of Representatives, for example, Congressman Edsel Lagman, who are really quite determined to do this, to block that plan. Now, unless he certify as urgent, but we do not expect the president to do that. That will not happen. So even on the part of the Senate, even if we file a resolution, but there is no corresponding resolution from the House of Representatives, it would be futile. So I think the best option at the moment would be legal.
The legal
resort to the Supreme Court. At first, there were some reservations whether that there would be a proper legal remedy. What exactly is that proper legal remedy?
So what are you thinking? TRO yan?
Yes, we will ask for TRO. It will be a petition for certiorari or prohibition. Better, it's prohibition. It's more, mas angkop yung
on
prohibition.
what basis nga?
We are developing certain legal arguments and certain theories, because although there may be a law because there is an old law,
Mhm.
Republic Act. I just actually saw this.
Ano yung sinasabi ni Eta Lam na meron daw yun dun sa mga Marcos victims or something?
Yung batas na yun, yung compensation, di ba?
Yeah.
Yung monetary compensation to the families or to the victims of martial law. In fact, thousands have in fact filed claims that can be used by analogy because that is a recognition na may kasalanan
Yeah.
yung dating diktador.
Yeah.
Kaya nga, merong relief. The
Yeah.
relief is monetary compensation. Bayaran.
So
Yung
is there a
mga-
law saying that you can't be buried there if you have committed all these sins?
There is no law specifically prohibiting.
Yeah.
But the law which tries to enumerate kung sino ang pwede
Yeah.
mailibing sa libingan na yan,
Yeah.
does not really mandate or compel the state to accept any and all those belonging to the enumeration to be really buried there. It allows, but it does not mandate. There's a difference between that. Authorizing, allowing, from mandating. If the law really mandates, then we have a problem there.
Kasi
Baka
lahat-
hindi namin makumbinsi ang Supreme Court. Pero kung ganun lang, ini-enumerate lang kung sino ang pwede, like former presidents, soldiers,
Yeah.
dignitaries,
Yeah, mga
national
pwede.
artists,
Oh.
pwede, at hindi ibig sabihin lahat ay
What did the president say it's purely discretionary on my part?
well, the discretion, he can argue that is the discretion of the state, that is through the head of state,
Yeah.
but they have to be cognizant of historical facts and also ethical and moral grounds in support of the opposition to that plan. Kaya nga po, yun ang alam ko po, several groups would be filing, and in fact, I want to be a co-petitioner. I'm still mulling over whether I'm going to have my own separate petition or together with some like-minded senators, like Senator Riza, or just a co-petitioner in a petition to be filed by other groups.
Who will be the respondents, ma'am? Who owns sa libingan ng mga bayani? AFP.
Yes, AFP, and then yung Philippine Veterans Affairs Office under existing regulations or law, including the administrative order. It is the one tasked to administer.
So they be the
Libingan.
respondents there.
Yeah, and even the president can be, the executive secretary can be pleaded as a respondent because it is their it's the executive who is allowing such a
They issued
Yeah.
a letter, di ba, na to
yes, yes. So we're just trying to firm up all the possible arguments. I'm going to discuss this with my fellow senators who are minded also to do the same.
So how
Maybe
many are you in the Senate, ma'am?
who will be joining?
Yeah. No, who are against the Korea?
Those who have been
Alam ko,
vocal.
si Gis lang ang bayag eh. He said so here.
Well, yung talagang openly na nagsasabi na hindi pwede, I can think of about 7 to 8. Yung open. Yung iba ayaw pang magsalita. Yes. Per my count, I may be wrong. Per my count, I'm looking at 7 to 8 who are against it.
And these are based on what you read in the newspaper or you actually talked with them?
Some of them I was able to talk to already.
So kasama ba dyan, ma'am, si Senate President Coco?
He was able to already express his opposition, although he said that he will be respecting the decision of the president. If the media reports
Are correct.
are correct.
I read that also.
But I've not talked to him, to Senator, to SP Coco.
Yes.
Ma'am, how about the open letter that you released today for President Duterte? Why did you decide to release that open letter? And maybe you could discuss the content.
Yes, pinag-isipan ko po over the weekend na gagawin ko po yon. As you know, nakatakda na po yung Senate inquiry on the 22nd and on the 23rd. Now, ang nakakita kasi, lalo na sa social media, pilit nila that they're trying to paint me as an enemy of the president, especially in so far as this campaign, this intensified drive against criminality and drugs are concerned. Yung pinapasensyahan ko lang lahat yan, no? Yung mga nasa social media. In fact, I don't read any more of those so as not to ruin my day. But I know na, but of course, some of my staff are monitoring all this and they would give me a general report kung ano nga ang mga kabalbalan na naman ng mga lumalabas sa social media. And I feel so outraged that I'm persistently being tagged or labeled as a drug lord, cuddler, or protector. And nabanggit ko yan sa privilege speech ko, na merong ilan-ilan na sa mga tao po ng Pangulo, na parang ganun din ang kanilang kaisipan tungkol sa akin. So, I'm not sure what is in the mind also of the President. I'm not sure kung naniniwala siya o hindi dyan sa mga naririnig na yan, sa mga kinakalat nila. I really want to make it a record that I am not an enemy of the President, especially in so far as these issues are concerned. We may disagree, especially with respect to human rights issues. It's just so happened that the hottest issues of the times, of the current time, pertains to human rights, which are closest. These issues are closest to my heart. The issues about EJKs, the issue about death penalty, and then the issue of the burial of the dictator in the libingan ng mga bayani. These are human rights, grave human rights issues that as a former CHR chair and as a human rights advocate and defender, I have very strong feelings about. But it doesn't mean that I'm already against this administration, because there are many other plans of this administration na sinusuportahan ko naman. Doon nga sa mga siniwalat niya sa SONA, sa mga plano na mga siniwalat niya sa SONA. I have already here a long list
Yung mga sinusuportahan.
na mga sinusuportahan ko. Examples lang: reforms in the criminal justice system, including measures to expedite disposition of cases. Of course, campaign against illegal drugs, peace talks with the communists and Muslim rebels, anti-illegal mining, anti-illegal logging. Illegal mining, I just filed a bill prohibiting black sand mining. Kasi nung nasa DOJ ako, talagang I supervised several raid operations on mga black sand mining. Anti-human trafficking, full support for the implementation of RH law and the Magna Carta for women, the measures to ease doing business, the anti-red tape, free internet in public buildings and common facilities, witness protection and whistleblowers. Matagal na namin palagi yan sinusulong to strengthen the witness protection program and whistleblowers bill. Bank secrecy law amendments. I also filed a bill, taking out from the coverage of bank secrecy public officials, government officials, FOI of course, and then increased spending on infrastructure projects for facility and better mobility of goods and services. The emergency bill, the emergency powers bill, sabi ko, pinag-aaralan ko po ng gusto yan. Kapag wala akong makitang klarado na constitutional impediment, I will be supporting that emergency powers bill sa traffic crisis natin. Right? So, but simply because umaangal po ako dun sa mga issues na yan, EJ case, death penalty, ganyan na ang mga ginagawa nila sa akin. Sustained, persistent, endless, vicious attacks in the social media. May pasensya pa rin ako hanggang ngayon, but because yung Senate inquiry na yan, napakahalaga po niyan para malaman ang katotohanan dyan. Ano ba talaga yan? Ilan na ba talaga ang napapatay? Kasi iba-iba rin ang mga figures. You have your own list, the Inquirer kill list. Other media outfits have different figures. PNP has different figures. And then, lalo na sa usapin ng vigilante killings, who are they doing that? Who are the perpetrators of these vigilante killings? There are several theories. Pero mukhang based so far sa yung mga witnesses na nakakausap ko na po ng mga posible na mga mag-testify sa Senate inquiry. Nakakumbinsi na ako ng ilan-ilan sa kanila. Mahirap pong mag-kumbinsi ng mga witnesses na yan. Pero siniswerte naman po, may ilan-ilan na po kaming nakumbinsi na yung malalaman natin dyan sa Senate inquiry na yan, especially through the testimony of these witnesses, kung bakit laganap ang drogas sa mga komunidad, sa mga localities. I don't want to be disclosing first details of the accounts of these witnesses, but in a nutshell, as an overview, kaya po ako nagpadala ng ganitong open message to the President that I hope subaybayan niya po yung hearing na yan para makita rin yung anggulo. Kasi ang hindi rin kasi sa maganda is may ilan-ilan ako makasamahan sa Senado, ang mga sinasabi nila, hindi ba premature pa yan? Hindi ba makakasama yan dyan sa kampanya na yan? Dahil nga you are practically indicting already the PNP, etc. Gusto ko lang naman makatulong, masiwalat ang katotohanan. Sino ang mga posibleng may pakana? Sino yung mga pumapatay na yan? At ano ang kanilang mga posibleng agenda? I'm not saying lahat na, I'm not making any sweeping allegation here. I'm not in a position to do that, and I cannot do that. Make a sweeping allegation because in the first place, ilan-ilan lang naman na mga testigo ang pumayag na magtetestigo. But I would say that these are representative samples, examples, doon sa makakasabi sa atin ano ang tunay na nangyayari sa baba. Na I would want to say that they're probably barking at the wrong tree. Na kasi ang target nga, yung mga maliliit na mga pushers and users. But who are they? You are eliminating them. At bakit lumala ang problema ng droga sa kanilang mga komunidad? Gusto ko lang po naman makatulong. So I would want to change the attitude of certain people in government, including some of my colleagues in the Senate, na nami-misinterpret nila po ang hakbang kong ito. Na gusto ko nga tumulong.
The witnesses will be showing up in the hearings.
Yes. Yes. So, I was able to convince already some of them. I've been having marathon sessions with them, trying to, get their confidence, and then narrating to me yung alam nila, at yung mga nasaksihan nila, and all that.
But not necessarily to put them in the witness protection program, not yet.
We are going to propose that, but they're already...
their lives should be in jeopardy.
Yes, that's right. That's one of the reasons kung bakit. In fact, we will be recommending to the DOJ for WPP coverage, although at the moment they're under the protection, most of them are under the protection of the CHR.
Okay.
They have their own witness protection also at the CHR.
Senator, after we interviewed you at Inquirer TV, we interviewed Senate Majority Leader Soto, and he was one of the senators who said na he felt that that the inquiry would be premature. In fact, he said it was broad. So
That
broad.
argument about being premature, I simply cannot understand that.
So I'm wondering,
How can
ma'am.
it be premature when they're already close to 1,000
Bodies.
bodies?
I'm wondering, ma'am, what would be the focus of your first 2 days of the investigation?
The focus would be the accounts, the eyewitnesses' accounts, the accounts of our witnesses. Ano yung mga naranasan nila? Kasi ito yung mga mahal sa buhay ng mga namatay.
These are the victims of buy-bust operations or vigilante killings.
Halo-halo na po. Kasi two categories nga of killings ang iniimbestigahan natin. Itong EJ case na to, itong summary killings na to, dalawa. Yung isa, yung mga namamatay in the course of police operations, legitimate or otherwise, buy-bust, service of warrants, etc. That's one. The second category, yung mga victims of possible vigilantism because faceless, nameless, yung mga may gawa niyan.
Defenseless.
Yung mga may gawa, hindi natin alam kung mga sino-sino yan. But of course, may mga indikasyon, may mga theories posible kung mga sino yan. Maaring iba dyan, mga polis din, yung iba, mga agents, mga tauhan ng mga polis, yung iba, baka hindi talaga sila konektado sa kapulisan. So, mas mahirap yun. Kasi hindi maituturo. Wala namang mga witnesses. Pero dun sa mga kaso na meron kami, may witnesses kami, may mga circumstances na they would point out kahit hindi nila mismo, syempre, na nakita yung pagpatay ng kanilang kaanak na umalis o tinatawag ng kung sino, ayaw ko muna magano ng detalye, pero hindi na bumalik. Natagpuan na lang, napatay na kinabukasan or 2 days later. Diba? So may mga ganun na mga istorya. And then yung mga assets din, yung mga pinapatay.
Will you be inviting representatives from the PNP?
Yes.
Magkaharap ba sila?
From law
ng
enforcement.
witnesses?
Starting today, I have already directed the committee secretary to release the notices today and tomorrow. We are sending notices or invitations kasi pag ganyan na inquiry, invitations muna yan. Later na lang sa PINA kapag hindi mag-appear. So invitations to the PNP, Director General, to the head of the Internal Affairs Service, even to the DILG Secretary, and then the NBI Director, the PIDEA head. So yun ang mga nasa government because we will first ask them to render a report on these killings. How many ang reported sa kanila at yung mga investigasyon, yung resulta ng investigasyon, if any. Yun ang pinakaano nila dyan. And I want them to listen to the accounts of our witnesses. And then, so aside from the witness, and then of course, the CHR, we will be inviting them, specifically the chair, Chito Gascon, and representatives of certain NGOs. Wala pa kami sa listahan sa international human rights organizations. Hindi ko pa pinapag-go yun, but local human rights organizations to get their insights and their comments on the issue, on the subject at hand. Ano ba yung mga ano dito? Ano ba mga implications nito sa atin? Na tayo pa naman, Pilipinas pa naman, ikino-consider as a model country for human rights promotion in Asia. In Asia, particularly, kasi tayo yung linif natin yung death penalty. And then, isa tayo sa una-una kaagad pumipirma sa mga major international human rights instruments like the ICCPR, ICSCR, of course, the Rome Statute. And that would be an avenue or forum. The Senate inquiry would also be an avenue or forum for the concerned groups, concerned office like the CHR to remind the administration about those treaty obligations, about the repercussions also of unabated killings, especially under the Rome Statute. May mga nagwa-warn na po sa atin. Doon sa Rome Statute, mukhang hindi pa po yan.
Ano ba yung Rome Statute na yun?
Yung Rome Statute, yung International Criminal Court, na merong general universal jurisdiction over high crimes like genocide and crime against humanity. May mga nagsasabi po, at binanggit ko rin nga po yan dyan sa resolution ko, na if this spate of killings go unabated and unchecked,
It could reach that
it could reach that point
proportion.
that the ICC will send a prosecutor to our country and investigate all this for plausible prosecution under the Rome Statute. Now, hindi po biro yan. The last thing we need nga is for our dear President to be subjected to prosecution by an international tribunal like the International Criminal Court. Hindi ko po tinatakot ang ating Pangulo. I'm just stating a fact. So kaya nga po ipapa-explain ko po yan sa CHR. Ano ang ibig sabihin nito? Ano ang mga scenarios? Ano ang mga possible liabilities kapag hindi po ito ma-check and wala pong shield ng immunity? Kapag the legal process under that statute is in place, walang immunity, walang prescriptibility, imprescriptible. Kapag pumasok sa definition ng crime against humanity, may mga nagsasabi po na mga eksperto na kasi ang pinaka-importanteng elemento ng prosecution for crime against humanity ay yung widespread and systematic. Yung widespread, mukhang nandyan na yung elemento na yan. If you have more than 100, almost reaching 1,000, I think it's not debatable that it is now widespread. Yung systematic, yun daw ang mahirap i-prove normally. Kasi syempre may deniability. Ang mga estado, ang mga leader, dun sa mga previous cases, mas nahihirapan. Pero, baka yung mga pronouncements na yan ng Pangulo at yung and General de la Rosa, yung mga pronouncements na yan, marami na ganun. Sa campaign period pa lang, ganun na. Hanggang ngayon, baka that is already evidence.
We're entering our last 2 minutes, Mike.
The threat of having another inquiry at the lower house is basically targeting you by allies of the president. Tuloy ba yun?
Hindi ko po alam. Ayaw ko na nga ho munang isipin yun, although binanggit ko na ho yan sa privilege speech ko na unang-una, they should be conscious first about the interparliamentary courtesy, and although that's the least of, wala sa akin yan, yung parliamentary courtesy, it's just na hindi ko talaga maintindihan saan nang gagaling yung mga ganyan na mga panakot na iimbestigahan din daw di umano ang aking involvement dyan. Anong ibig sabihin mo nun? Ano ba kailangan? Ilinawin mo nila yan. Ano ba sinasabi nila? Nagpabaya ho ba ako nung panahon ko as Secretary of Justice na under supervision sa akin yung Bucor? O baka mas malala ang sinasabi nila? Na baka may mga nagsasabi dyan, nag-aakusa na ako mismo ay protector. Kasi I remember during the campaign period, lumalabas din yung mga issue na yan sa mga tabloids na ang mga among my contributors daw ng campaign funds ay mga ano daw, yung mga drug convicts na yan, nakatulad ni Polanco, tapos maski nga daw si Napoles. Of course, there's a lot of bull. So baka sinusundan lang nila yung ano na yan, baka they just keep on really reiterating all of those brazen lies. Na I'm worried na kapag paulit-ulit ho nilang sinasabi yan, baka nagiging totoo na sa isipan ng mga tao. Which is so unfair to me. Maaaring kulang yung ginawa ko.
Kasi isa lang namang aspeto ng aking mandato bilang Secretary of Justice, yung problema ng correctional system na I recognize sobra, deeply seated ang problema sa ating mga detention facilities, hindi lang nga ng Bucor, kundi yung mga under BJMP. So, since marami naman akong inaasikaso noon, I could not really entirely focus on the problems besetting the correctional system. But no one can ever accuse me na nagpabaya ako or I've been negligent. Maaaring kulang na yung ginawa ko. No one can ever accuse me na nagpabaya
Or
ako,
complicit.
let alone being complicit.
Complicit.
That's a lot of bull. I can face anyone to deny that. So, gusto ko lang sana matapos na ho ito na, you know, they're really barking at the wrong tree.
Pwede niyo ba isipin, Senator, na kayo yung pinapatungkulan niyang isang babae? Parang
Hindi ko
yung
po
sabi
alam.
niya,
Hindi ko po
We have
alam.
another question from
Pahabol lang po
before our
po.
siguro our last
Yeah.
question for the live part.
We have a question from social media from Chris Bautista on Twitter. He said, being as a former DOJ secretary, are you working with the current DOJ secretary to address these problems? The
Not
drug
yet, but pretty soon. Kaya nga nung organizational meeting nga ho namin nung last week nung sa Committee on Justice and Human Rights, we invited both DOJ and CHR for them to share with us their priority legislative agenda. And kasama na nga dyan yung anti-drugs legislative measures together with the committee of Senator Ping Lacson, Committee on Public Order and Illegal Drugs. I'm also a member. In fact, may overlapping membership yung Justice and Human Rights tsaka yung Committee on Public Order and Illegal Drugs. And then ito nga dito for purposes of the upcoming Senate inquiry, I intend to talk to Secretary Aguirre soon, lalo na pag makita ko siya sa JBC meeting namin this week on the possibility of placing under WPP na DOJ and possible grant of immunity sa ilan sa kanila na aaminin na pusher sila dati at target din sila. You know, because that would be a right, that would be yung right against self-incrimination sa kanila. Hindi ko naman basta-basta isasalang yung ilan sa kanila na may pag-aamin na may kasalanan din sila sa batas because they are also drug pushers. So I'm going to work it out with Secretary Aguirre.
This ends the live part of our roundtable. Pero the folks outside, they can read on the website and on the paper. There is the further discussions dito sa roundtable.
Thank you.
So thank you very much and stay posted.